Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights on this Friday morning. We're looking at the broad picture here. We see a big trough of lower pressure, one exiting the northeast United States across Maine. It's had a little bit of snow up to the northern regions. And the trough that's across the west coast is going to be transiting toward Vermont. And this is going to be pushing in some gradient winds that'll be affecting mostly along our western slopes of the Green Mountains and our mountain summits. It looks like a fairly marginal event. It's not going to be a big deal, but this takes place, it looks like it ramps up during the late morning hours on Sunday. It continues into the afternoon and then disperses and weakens. Those winds fall off as we get into the late part of the day on Sunday. And we'll have a little bit of mixed precipitation issues with that only affects travel. No other issues for utilities expected. Let's take a look at some of the latest computer modeling. And this is the latest European model, valid in 3-hour increments. This is 2 o'clock this afternoon. No real issues today or tomorrow. Here comes our weather system. This is an area of low pressure kind of backloaded with a warm front. This is along a ridge of higher pressure. This warm front's going to push into the northeast United States over time. And it looks like the arrival time with the first area of precipitation reaching southern Vermont in the form of some rain showers. That looks like around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning hours. This continues to overspread the region from southwest to northeast. And you can see it's basically a warm front that extends through here. This warm air advection is going to shoot the temperatures up eventually, but it's going to be a slow rise east of the Green Mountains as it looks right now. It's primarily going to be rain, a little bit of mixed precipitation, but we also look at tightening pressure gradient here. This 991 hectopascal area of low pressure up against this ridge of higher pressure at 1034 hectopascal. So the trend is that this begins to ramp on down as winds begin to decrease. The pressure gradient lessens. We get a little bit of mixed precipitation types during the evening hours. That's valid at 10 o'clock on Monday. And so that continues. Looks like a little bit of mixed precipitation, some wet snow, some freezing rain, some sleet. A little bit of nastiness again for Monday morning, and then a changeover back to rain showers. Now this will be scattered, and there is an upper level low. You can't really see it here. You can kind of see it with the thickness patterns, these blue lines. So aloft above this surface area of low pressure and the precipitation types and whatnot, there's going to be this upper level low that's going to drop south. And as it does, it'll linger into the morning hours on Tuesday. So Monday is looking like a pretty gray, showery kind of day. I don't see any real issues in terms of for utilities. So this is valid Sunday morning at about 11 o'clock in the morning. And this is when we start to see those winds begin to ramp up. And just kind of show you the case here. This is in the earlier morning hours, valid. That's about 9 o'clock. That's 10, 11. We got noon. And then we got 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and the winds are mostly in the summit levels. You can see they're nothing real super strong here. We get some gusts up around 50 miles an hour, potentially around Morrisville, Stowe. This is within the grid pattern, so it's registering off the tops of the mountains. This is valid at 5 o'clock in the evening. That's 6, 7, 8, 9. And I would think by 9 o'clock we're looking at the winds diminish at that point in time. Typically, the models will shrink this down to probably a shorter session, and that's the way it's looking right now. We do have some marginal gradient winds, though, that will affect utilities with some, it looks like some minor impacts or isolated impacts, mostly closest to the Green Mountains and mostly along the western slopes. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights, thanks for watching.